Now we're going to talk about solving one-step equations. Now, as you can see here, we're going to be talking a lot about this word inverse operation. What that is the opposite operation. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition. The opposite of multiplication is division. And the opposite of division is multiplication. So we're going to need to know that as we go through this lesson because we're going to be solving this using the opposite operations. Now I'm going to skip right to the examples here. The first example, we have x plus 6 equals 4. Okay, so we're going to solve this. One thing I always do is have you put a line down the center of the equal sign to show that there are two sides to this equation. That's going to help you when you go to solve. So we're looking at this equation. We have a plus sign here. That means we need to solve this using the inverse operation. Well, the opposite of adding is subtracting. So we want to get that x by itself, which means we need to get rid of that 6. So we do that by subtracting. So 6 minus 6 is 0, so it's gone. And the only thing left on that left side is x. That's good. That's what we want. Now on the other side, we have 4 minus 6. Now I never want you guessing with the math. Use a calculator. 4 minus 6 gives us negative 2. So this right here is our answer, and we're going to do a check to make sure that that actually is our answer. Now last lesson we talked about how to find out if that is a solution to our equation. And we do that by rewriting the equation and replacing the x with our answer. So this would be negative 2 in place of x. And we're going to see if both sides are equal. Well, negative 2 plus 6, again, don't guess on this. Use your calculator. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. And 4 does equal 4, so that means it does check. Now, if it doesn't check, you should always go back and see where you made your mistake, because you obviously know you made a mistake if it does not check. All right, next one. We have negative 5 equals b plus 8. Again, I'm going to put that line down the center of my equal sign. I want to get that b by itself. Since it's plus 8, I'm going to use the opposite operation, which is minus 8. 8 minus 8 is gone. They cancel out. You're left with just b. On this side, I have negative 5 minus 8, which is negative 13. Again, don't guess. Use your calculator. All right, so let's do the check. We're going to rewrite the equation. We're going to replace the b with negative 13. So negative 13 plus 8 is negative 5, which means they do check out. It is equal to each other, which means that is our solution. All right, I'm going to skip to the next page. Now we're going to take a look at these examples. These are slightly different. You're going to notice that instead of a plus sign, we have a minus sign. So we're going to use the opposite operation again. We want to get that x by itself. So since it's minus 2, we're going to use the opposite operation, which would be plus 2. Those are gone. We're left with x. 1 plus 2 gives us 3. So this should be our solution. We're going to do a quick check. So we're going to rewrite the problem. We're going to replace our x with 3. And we're going to do our math. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 is equal to 1, so it does check. That is our answer. All right, number 2, we're going to do q minus 8 equals negative 9. Opposite of subtracting is adding. We're going to add 8 to both sides. The 8's cancel out. We still have q. Negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1. All right, let's do a quick check. Rewrite the problem. We're going to replace our q with negative 1. Now, I'm going to do leave, change, change. You can also enter this into the calculator, but leave, change, change. So negative 9 is equal to negative 9. It does work. Now, sometimes there's going to be word problems with this, so I'm going to go through a word problem with you and show you what I expect to see on your paper. This says an angelfish can grow to be 18 inches long. An angelfish is 10.5 inches longer than a clownfish. How long is a clownfish? Now the first question says, what variable are we going to use to represent the length of a clownfish? You can really use any variable. I decided to go with x, okay, but you can really use any variable. Now this right here tells us this angelfish is 18 inches. But it also tells you that it's 10.5 longer than means we're going to add, than a clownfish. We just don't know what that clownfish is. We call it x. So the equation that I come up with is right here. X plus 10.5 equals 18. That's because of what I came up with by reading each word on the top, and I came up with that equation. Now sometimes they'll ask you to solve that equation. So if they do, you're just going to use the opposite operation, which is subtracting. So if I take 18 and I subtract 10.5, you can use your calculator on that. So 18 minus 10.5 gives us 7.5.